1,000. Now, Rachel Reeves is being warned not to let Britain sleepwalk into a cashless society that punishes the poor. A Treasury Committee report says the government may need to force businesses to keep taking cash or risk a poverty premium for the most vulnerable. Campaigners fear the elderly, abuse victims, disabled, people could be shut out of shops, transport or even leisure centres. Let's speak to Hannah Dewhirst, Head of Campaigns at Positive Money. Good afternoon to you, Hannah.
Hi, good afternoon.
Nice to have you with us. We are, I suppose, to look at it one way, we are sort of heading a bit in this direction, are we not? There's plenty of places you go to now. I'm thinking of obvious big high street coffee chains where you can't pay by cash. I'm trying to think where I was recently, where it was a cash-only scenario. Slightly took me by surprise. Some would say, you know, whatever the romantic connections are to the folding stuff, that is the direction of travel. And people like me and you, Hannah, have got to get used to it.
Well, I think I disagree with you there. And if anything, the sad emergency that we saw happening in Monday in Spain and Portugal with the power cuts,
Yeah,
I mean, people were thrown into complete chaos. Like they weren't able to use electricity or the internet or pay for anything because their bank credit cards weren't working, their e-wallets weren't working. And that is unfortunately just a really stark reminder of why we need to keep cash around, because cash is immune from technical faults and cyber attacks. And it really is a critical payment method that we should ensure everyone has access to.
Yeah. In terms of the arguments about, you know, this term, the most vulnerable, which covers, you know, lots of different people for lots of different reasons. What are the specific problems there? There might be somebody who's disabled going, you know, well, why would it affect me more than it would affect anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, there's any number of reasons why people with a variety of disabilities might struggle to, you know, use a computer, visual impairments or any range of things. I'm no expert on that, but it is actually a huge number of people all around the country that want to use cash, not only, are forced to use it, but actually want to use it because of all the benefits it brings, like privacy. It's also incredibly convenient. And it's not just a small minority. Nationwide have actually found that the number of cash withdrawals in the UK has gone up for the third year in the row. Wow. So, people are wanting to use cash more and more. So we're just really glad to see the Treasury Committee come out today and call on the government to do more to protect people's ability to use cash, because this isn't just about access. It's all fine going and getting your money out of an ATM, but then if you can't use it to pay anything in a shop, you're a bit stuffed. So it's two sides of the same coin. It's
a very good point. Is there any data, as far, it might be an unfair question, Hannah, you may not know the answer to this, to suggest where we're at, on a kind of global league table in terms of the use of cash? I was recently in Bulgaria, and it was a very cash-based country. It would constantly, wherever you went, you were sort of asked cash or card, with a very much a nod to, please, if you have cash, we'd like cash.
Yeah, I don't have exact figures to hand, but in terms of internationally, we've seen lots of countries that kind of charged full steam ahead into being cashless, like Sweden, that are now actually changing their minds, and their government have come out and are actually encouraging citizens to keep a stash of cash at home for security reasons or any number of reasons. So that really highlights the danger that we have if we just let this slide into cashlessness happen. And I think that's the thing to highlight, is it's not just happening, to us. It's being pushed on us by big banks and card companies like MasterCard and Visa, because it's in their benefit for us all to use their digital payment systems. Yeah, and of course it changes the value of what is spent, doesn't it? Because you have companies that take a percentage of this and a percentage of that. And somebody did explain it to us brilliantly quite recently. If you take 50 quid and it's cash, that 50 quid is always worth 50 quid. But if you put it through the digital system, it reduces wherever it goes. But the people that don't lose the money are those that are responsible for the transaction. Yeah, in terms of small businesses, they're hugely impacted by this. I mean, the payment systems regulator actually came out and criticised Visa and MasterCard last year for having a monopoly on digital payments, because it allowed them to hike fees on small businesses by up to 30%. And what are those small businesses going to do? They're either going to have to eat that cost or pass it on to us, the customers. So we're really all losing out from this move to a cashless society. So that's really why we need the government to do more to push for cash acceptance.
There it is. Hannah, great to have you on. Thank you. Hannah Dewhirst, Head of Campaigns at Positive.